Love on the rocks, ain't no surprise. Just pour me a drink and I'll tell you some lies. Got nothing to lose, so you just sing the blues all the time.
What's up with it, Bronco Maniacs? It's your boy, the OG Bronc Nuts, 719 West. Back down here in Fort Worth, Texas for the summer. Now, I don't always work in Texas, but it's just worked out the last couple years that I have. Now, unfortunately, this year, the OG Bronc Nuts, I'm not at the lake house. Like we were last year, so there's not going to be too many fishing with Bronc Nuts and those types of videos because I'm in an apartment this year. Thankfully, one of my good friends lives down here. My partners that I came with last year didn't travel with me, so that's why I'm staying with one of my buddies. But hey, what I came to talk about today was a couple of things that's on my mind. First, Paxton Lynch. Now, there's grumblings out there that Broncos aren't happy with Paxton Lynch and that he hadn't been good in the locker room, he hadn't been working hard, and all that came from a Dallas beat writer, and that's not what I hear from inside sources that kind of on the inside of the Broncos locker room and in their practice facilities, from what I'm reading on blogs and stuff on the internet. But don't get too down on Paxton Lynch yet. I mean, the guy's still got great skills. The Cowboys really wanted to get him, so it makes sense that they would talk trash about him. I mean, thank God they got Dak Prescott and everything worked out. But I don't know. I don't think it's love on the rocks yet for Paxton Lynch.
Hell to the no, to the no, no, no. Come on. Hell no, to the no, no, to the no, 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 to the no, no, to the no, no. Hell to the no, no.
I want to talk about this season. Schedule just came out. Now, the OG Bronc Nuts, I told you that I was always going to keep it real. And so I'm going to give you my prediction, what I think that will happen this year in the AFC West. Now, last year, I said before the season that the Broncos would win 10 games. We won 9. We were a clanked field goal by Santos off the post from making that happen on a game we had won, and we dropped the game winner in the end zone, hit us right in the hands against Tennessee. Otherwise, we win 10 or 11 games. I think I gave the Broncos a fair assessment. I said last year we would battle for the division. Had we won those 2 games, we most certainly would have. This year, however, I don't see the Broncos battling for the division. See us being an 8-8 team, maybe 9-7 after looking through the schedule. Probably going to finish 3rd in the division. I think the Raiders are the best team in the AFC West, and barring any type of setback from the leg injury to Derek Carr, I think Raiders are pretty strong. Things they've done, players they've acquired, they're going to make a go for it this year in a playoff run. So we'll see what happens. I think the Broncos finished 2nd or 3rd in the division. I think obviously it comes down between us and the Chiefs for who gets that spot. Chiefs are a much improved team. Really surprised me last year. Got some electric players. Looking forward to seeing some good battles in the AFC West at least this year. Chiefs, I think, got 6 primetime games this year, and deservedly so. And the Broncos got like 5. So, you know, the AFC West can be well represented this year in primetime games. So, again, Broncos 8-8, 9-7, 3rd in the division. We don't make much of a splash this year, but I think we're going to be good enough to beat anybody on any given Sunday. So you better watch your ass when you come to the 5280. Now, the schedule came out, and they say it's the toughest schedule in the NFL this year. Now, look, a lot of that is because the Chiefs and the Raiders are in our division, and our division was really strong last year. I mean, the 3rd-place team had 9 wins. And San Diego, without, getting Keenan Allen back from knee injury, I mean, they're probably not far from behind. So, had we won a couple of games and the Chiefs lost a game, or the Raiders lost an extra game, I mean, the Raiders would have had the toughest schedule. I think we all were 1, 2, and 3. But that's neither here nor there, and how hard your schedule is don't matter once it gets kicked off on September 17th. Against, actually not September 17th, September 11th, 9/11. against the Chargers in Mile High. Now, I'm not going to go through every single game here. There's a couple games that I'm kind of happy that we get to play. One, the second game against the Cowboys at home. Obviously, get the Raiders and Chiefs at home. Those are always a good game. Patriots! You little cheaters got to come back to Mile High again! Oh, man. Always love playing the Patriots. It's a good battle between us and them all the time. But I think the highlight of the schedule for me and the game I'm probably looking the most forward to is the last game of the year, which is actually on New Year's Eve against the Chiefs in Mile High. Because I think the Raiders win the division. I think that last game's probably going to come down to a playoff spot between us and Kansas City. So looking forward to that game. But a lot of things can happen in between now and then. I mean, injuries, trades. I mean, there's a lot of things that could happen. So let's talk a little bit about the draft coming up here. I think it's next weekend maybe. No secret that the Broncos, we need help at offensive line. I mean, I really didn't think Trevor Siemian played that bad last year. I think the kid's a good quarterback, and I think that he can win in the NFL, and I think he is a winner. Throws nice balls, very accurate, makes pretty good decisions, but you could see last year that he just didn't have enough time. And I think a year of going through, a full season and now another off season and more understanding of the playbook and more understanding of our personnel is only going to help him out. So if we can fix that offensive line, because, let's be honest, Schofield, atrocious. Who's the other guy that's on there? Donald Stevenson, atrocious. Russell Okung should have never signed him in the first place. Like a broke down 1967 Monte Carlo. Terrible player. So we got problems around the offensive line, so I think that's where we got to go in the draft or make a trade. There's been talks of us trading for, Joe Staley, talks of us trading for, what's his name in Cleveland, their left tackle. The reality is the left tackle is probably, if you got a young quarterback, the second most important position on the whole football team. The only time you can get away with a mediocre left tackle is if you got a great one behind center. You got to have a Brady, an Elway, a Montana. You got to have one, a guy that can really anticipate when the tackle's beat right at the snap and can make adjustments and make things happen. And certainly Trevor Siemian is not there. So our two biggest main things that we need in the draft is offensive line and tight end, which, you can put them right along the offensive line. So here's what I'd like to see the Broncos to do if we don't trade, because we've got a lot of extra draft picks this year. You can't pay all of those draft picks, so expect the Broncos to make some moves. But I see our first-round draft pick probably going with O.J. Howard, the tight end from Alabama. He's probably not going to be there. Cam Robinson, who's the left tackle from Alabama, he probably won't be there either unless we trade up to get him. We got Ryan Ramczyk, Garrett Bowles, who's a nasty offensive lineman from Utah. And then, the guy that everybody loves in Denver because he's a hometown kid and his daddy played there, Christian McCaffrey. But I just don't see the Broncos making a move for Christian McCaffrey because we just have too many glaring needs. Now, what I do like is this kid. Watch this.
Motherfuckers don't fuck with me. Crowd screaming. Like that, drop it like that, drop it like that, drop it
it like, drop it like that, 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 drop it like that,
Crowd screaming.
Shaheen is this kid's name. He's from Ashland University. They call him Baby Gronk. What an absolute beast. The Broncos need a big physical tight end who's a playmaker, who's tough. I mean, we need Shannon Sharp. We got nobody to utilize at that tight end position. Nobody's really stepped up yet. And we got that A.J. Derby from New England. I mean, he came in, dropped a couple key passes right there at the end of the season in the clutch for games that he could have won for us. So nobody's really stepped up and emerged at that tight end position. And I really think the Broncos are going to make Adam Shaheen, put him in the orange and blue. With our extra draft picks, I see him actually moving up to take this kid in the second round, third round for sure. I don't think he'll slip into the later rounds.
That's a lot of money.
What an incredible athlete and physical specimen. I think that guy will really help the Denver Broncos out.
How about I give you 10 cents and you give me the good news?
Be interested to see what else we do at quarterback. I mean, since we didn't sign Tony Romo, and thank goodness that we didn't, we've got to come to camp with another quarterback. And the fact that we're probably going to draft one and not sign an old veteran free agent like Mark Sanchez, one of those type of guys, I think the Broncos are going to go for a sleeper, maybe small school quarterback. Try to hit on somebody that's developmental and see how Paxton Lynch and Trevor Siemian emerge in this 2017 season. This is the OG Bronc Nuts, 719 West. Best believe I'll be around when football season comes, and I'll be checking in with some nice little videos this summer. Because if you've seen in my last video, the OG Bronc Nuts bought a sick drone for work. So I'm going to have it out at the lake and different little party things and festivals and things I'm going to be doing this summer. So I'll make sure I put some fun footage up for you to view on my channel. Other than that, that's it. I'm out.
I'm a baller, I'm a 20-inch crawler, blaze on the powder, diamond drop waller,